Wonder Woman set up. I don't know if you can give an overview here. This is a cooperative game in which you're representing Wonder Woman or one of the other Amazons. And what are you doing?
So you are defending Themyscira, the home of the Amazons, from one of three classic Wonder Woman villains. You can face off against Ares, Circe, or the Cheetah. It is fully cooperative. And the thing I like about this game is that it's in 5 phases. In one of the phases, you are given more options that you can't discuss with other players. So if you've ever had a cooperative game where someone tries to run the game for you, this takes that away from them. They can't do that anymore. I also really like the miniatures that it comes with. You can see there in the center. Going through a turn, if you'd like, on the first round, the enemy advances. So Ares might deploy Servants of War or corrupt Amazons that you have on the board to help you, or deploy blockades that makes it more difficult for you to move around the board. You'd then be given some cards, 2 cards face up to each player. And these cards you can discuss with everyone. So you can strategize and make a tentative plan for how you want to face off against Ares and the other villains. So you make a tentative plan, and then you're also given 3 cards face down. So in the next phase, you are able to pick these 3 cards up and look at them, but you have already entered the battle. And of course, in the middle of a battle, you don't stop and strategize. So then you have to make some decisions on your own. You pick 3 of those cards, play them face down into your battle plan there. And then in the 4th round, you would reveal those one at a time and work together. You can combine the emblems, which let you do different things. You have a little reference card. So if you have Vigor, for example, that will let you get rid of Serpents of War. You can use Leadership to summon more Amazon warriors to help you, which increases your emblems. You can also team up. Since this is a cooperative game and you're working as the Amazons who work together as a coordinated fighting force, you can team up, which will be useful. Ares takes 4 damage to reduce his health by 1 point, for example. So you'll need to do that over time. So you can see some of the different options there. And then finally, your island's defenses are reduced depending on the number of obstacles you have.
Okay, and the villains scale up. So you're only one at a time and choose which one you want based on the level of difficulty, yes?
Yeah, Ares is by far the easiest, in my opinion. He has a base level, and you can also increase the difficulty by increasing his health. And then Circe and the Cheetah are a little bit more challenging. With Ares, he's just trying to do damage to the island, essentially. Circe polymorphs the Amazons, so you have to keep some of the obstacles apart, the pig Amazons and the wolf Amazons apart, or they do damage to each other. So in addition to trying to damage her, you're also having to run around the board and keep all of these things separate. And then the Cheetah, you have to team up and do a lot of damage to her at once. She's trying to find different artifacts. And when you damage her, she runs away and drops some more obstacles. So you have to team up, do a lot of damage to her, and then she runs off and leaves more obstacles and burns through her enemy deck really quickly. So for me, the Cheetah is the most challenging. And then, of course, you can increase those even more by increasing their health. So the game will scale in difficulty. As you have it down to a science, you can increase the difficulty and have another challenge again. You can see there some of the artwork on the enemy card decks. Each enemy has their own deck that will allow them to move around the board, deploy obstacles, and do different things. And of course, all of those are tied into that villain story.
Did we lose Eric?
The Cheetah got him.
Oh, okay. We actually played this on game night. It will be coming out as an episode soon, and it is really fun. Although I did not think Ares was that easy. I can't remember if we won or not, but we did play Ares. That is the one we did do, and it was great. I do love the aspect that you can't really alpha the game. I mean, you know, obviously sometimes you've got people that just know the game better, but you're still making your decisions because you're only revealing these one at a time. And hoping to, like, hey, I'll be able to, you know, because you have to plan in advance. And you're like, well, I mean, what can we do here? And you can't reveal too much information other than you might be able to help with something. And then you reveal them and deal with what happens on the island. But the forces that keep shifting around and blocking you are what's really amazing and tough. I really...
Yeah.
I was really blown away by the game. I thought it was had the theme going, and it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think we played all three villains last night just so I could refresh my memory on how it went, and how quickly the cheetahs enemies, the obstacles escalate. We had in the training grounds just a field of lycanthropes and wounded Amazons. And after a while, we're like, we can ignore that. There's nothing we can do about it.
yeah, we got to focus on this, and that was part of our. We ended up letting parts of the island. I mean, because it overflows and things spread, and we ended up letting things go for a little bit because we were definitely targeting something and hoping to be able to take care of that before. Because I think I can't remember exactly, but I believe Ares was really raising a ruckus down in the south, and we had a heck of a time keeping it under control. And it's fun to you're because there's stuff on the board. There are units on the board that will shift, and if you don't, so you're taking some guesses where you think things might go, and doing your best to like, well, let's hold our force here. That we did have one relic that allowed us to move around very quickly. That was very helpful to where Ares was located. Yeah, and that was fun.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the lasso too. That's handy for when you're facing off against Cersei, because you can just lasso all of the pig Amazons and the wolf Amazons into two different regions, so that you're not having your health reduced as quickly.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, you know, you think, again, this is a really wonderful design, but you think like with these IP games, that you always have this, even though we've been proven wrong over the years lately, that the IP games are not going to be very strong. They end up being, you know, this is thematically really fun. The art is I love it because it's actually like modern comics. Every element of it looks, you know, the character stuff, and then the card art itself is really wonderful. I didn't really show a lot of those, but it's all really beautiful. The really wonderful production and a really fun game. We actually would love to play it more. I mean, I'm sure it's good with two. We probably should just play with two, since it's all we have to play right now. I do not know.
Yeah, I think the care that Ravensburger has for our games really shows through, as well as our development partners for this game, Prospero Hall.
Yeah.
We are fans of the IP. Like in the office, you'll definitely find a fan of one of the IPs there. Sorry, is that
you're going to have to ask that question. It is backwards for me. So, any fun promos for Wonder Woman? Okay, if you can read and answer that.
Planned, especially with conventions being canceled, we don't have any promos. But if you have an idea, you're welcome to tweet it to us, and I'll see what I can do.
Oh, the other one that I was excited about, which was not designed by Prospero Hall, was the Back to the Future one that I read about recently. And that is exciting. I know you're going to show me, and I'm going to be jealous. But it looks fun. I love the time travel aspect of that. So, do you guys have any other games upcoming soon that we'll be able to get access to besides that one?
Yeah.
You can show us that one too. I'm excited about that one. Believe me. I know it's not available right now, or it would be here, because we were going to do Jungle Cruise and that game, and neither of them are available yet for retail. So Eric chose to do two that were available.
We just got in our top samples, so if you want one, we can send one out.
Oh, you know I do. We'll play it. I'm very excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, my favorite part are the DeLoreans. This copy is still sealed, and I can't take that one down because that'll reveal my very nerdy collection of role-playing games behind it. But the DeLoreans are really cool. I can show you the back of the board or the back of the box really quickly.
Yeah, it looks great. I was really excited. I mean, I know that you guys will have it'll be fun regardless. Is Eric back? I'm hearing breathing.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I let people know I'm here.
Yeah.
I
Congratulations
on them. Talk about working with IPs in general. I mean, I should mention, I will disclose, I've done this before. I was hired by Ravensburger to edit the rules for Marvel Villainous. So I just want to put that out there. I will not say anything about the game either. But maybe you can just talk about working with these different companies, with Disney and Disney and Marvel, Back to the Future. How does this all work? What's involved with that?
Well, you have an extra layer of approval in everything that you do. We're really lucky in that all of our partners, WDB, Universal, Marvel, and Disney are really responsive. But everything you do, you have to submit a concept. They need to see the artwork. They need to see the gameplay and make sure that whatever you're doing respects their IP and ties into their vision for their characters. Then you need to be respectful of that. So it's just another element to take into account when you're developing a game, because you might have an idea that you think is great, but for reasons they might not even be able to tell you sometimes, like if there's a movie coming up, you can't use a certain character or a certain element that you were excited about. So there's more give and take, but then I think when you bring the game out, being able to serve those fans and that audience is really rewarding to see how excited they are, especially when you work for a company like Ravensburger that really cares about the IPs and takes the time to get to know them and get to know what the fans want. It's really rewarding.
Okay. I know there's been a big interest as well in Germany, where initially the IP games seemed to be more US based, and now they are going the other way. Whereas previously things seemed to come from Germany to the US, and now you're going the other direction.
Yeah, Villainous is going into several European countries. Jaws, of course, is going into Germany this year. And then Back to the Future will be available in Italy and Spain later in 2020. And Minecraft, of course, was released, I think, in 6 different languages. So,
right. So you have the additional challenge of, I guess, license rights in each of those countries in order to figure everything out.
Yeah, Maria and Megan are 2 licensing managers in Ravensburger in Europe and the US, respectively, and they do a great job coordinating all of that.